Alright, again, this is JD. In this module, we're going to review a little of the, little more of the equipment we're going to be using in upcoming investigations with Salt Texas Ghost Hunters. The two models we have in here are modified Radio Shack digital AM/FM scanning radios. The first one is more economical, which is the model 12-459, which is pretty easy to modify. All you need to do is take the screws apart and take it apart and simply bend a pin on one of the connectors inside, or clip it, which is what I chose to do. Pardon me, I started to get a runny nose. I think I'm allergic to my girlfriend's cats here. Anyway, this unit sells for about 19 bucks. It's pretty good to buy one and have and have one more as a backup. The next model, which is one I just more recently modified, which is a little more sturdy, and I feel it's a little better of a model to use for building a Frank's box, is the model 12-587, which is the one that is going to replace this unit. My concept is they're going to stop making these, although I've still seen them at some of the Radio Shacks around here. The only other equipment you're going to need to really modify these is basically a small pair of electronic needle nose and cutting dikes, if you intend to cut the pin, and the needle nose if you're just going to bend them, which is, again, I have another module where you can see how I did that on this one. I'll probably do one for the older model, but since it's easier to find this one, and this one only costs about $7 or $8 more than that one, it's just better to get this one. It's actually easier to modify and take this board apart and get at the pin and get the board back together than it is this one, which is very difficult to get the board back together. You can do it, but it takes a little more work. The only other equipment you need to buy is the standard 1/8 audio cable, which I bought at Radio Shack, was like about $6, and the very, very efficient amplified speaker, which I think was about $14. On-off switch on the side, and of course, jack. Now we're going to go over some of the pluses and negatives of these. First one, the little brother I call it. I'm going to hook it up. It has no external antenna, as you can see. Antenna's built in. I like that benefit because you can actually avoid some of the unwanted interference. Whereas this one does have an extendable antenna, as you can see. You just simply pull it out like a regular radio. So let's do a test. All you do to use it once you make the modification is turn the unit on. You can see that the unit's cycling. Turn on your speaker. Now, as you can hear, it's stuck in AM. Now, I prefer to use the AM band, and we'll go over a little bit why. This AM band actually has more talk radio, more voices for you to be able to use. And all you do to get it to start scanning is just push up and hold for 2 seconds. And you'll start to see the cycling rate going. Now, as you can hear, it's going at a pretty decent rate, so it clips as it goes from channel to channel. Now, some of the more expensive units that you can buy that I've seen for sale are about $400 or $500, allow you to tweak the sweep rate, how fast it sweeps, and whether it goes linear from channel or station to station or jumps randomly. Again, I'm going to borrow one and just experiment with those, whether there's a benefit to that or not, but I haven't really used this in an investigation yet, so I'm going to use both these models here this week, and I'll be able to give you a better report on how good it works. Again, as you can hear, this one provides a pretty decent signal sweep rate. It should be good enough for catching EVPs or using it as it was intended. Alright, we'll take a look at the other one. Again, take another quick look at the scan rate. It's pretty quick. Check, 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 check. I mean, you can hear that it's like a couple every second. Alright. Now, the thing about this model that I like is if you don't, you can just pack it along, and it has its own speaker built in. Set your band, which again I prefer AM. It is backlit like the other model. Start the scanning. Turn up your speaker rate. As you can see, its sweep is almost as fast, but it seems to be a little more sensitive to channels. Again, the modification for this one's the same. You're simply going to bend a pin on a interface connector inside of both of them, so the fix is the same. Good thing about this one is they both have lock buttons, so without that button pressed, once you start a scan, if you accidentally touch this wheel, it would stop the scan. But with a lock, you can lock it in place and pretty much freezes your buttons. You can't turn it on or off. You can't stop anything. Okay. Now let's hook it up to the speaker. And as you hear, it's a little more sensitive to the frequencies with a longer antenna section inside. A trick I found can help eliminate interference is to use foil and wrap a couple of good windings of foil around the unit when you're using it, and you can decrease sensitivity of the antenna a little bit. But this actually would work pretty good the way it is right now. Except you can hear full sentences, which sometimes can be too much. I'll be able to have my intro for you after we test these units out. See what we actually get. Okay, for this module, this is JD, and see you again soon.